dinner time in this Michelin restaurant. What's really unique about it is that in the kitchen, the chef utilizes no electricity and no gas when cooking the food. And also the menu looks absolutely wild. So this is the dinner menu. 12 courses. There's 2 reindeer course, second course, king crab. Then there's cast iron fired flatbread. This looks amazing. There's gonna be quail, there's a mushroom souffle, scallops, and they're preparing 2 amuse-bouche here in the lounge before going into the kitchen. So we get to see the kitchen and how the chef crafts everything. It's gonna be really cool. So this is the first bite. This is a little tart with cucumbers, nuts, and Swedish smoked pork belly. Oh, you can smell the smoke right away. Well, that's just pure magic. It tastes like you're taking a walk through the woods of Sweden, and far off there's a cozy house with smoke coming out of this chimney. Something like that. Wow. Okay, the next bite, this is beautiful. It looks like a potted plant. Inside there's king crab, fermented gooseberries, and on top is lumpfish roll with sprayed carrot vinegar. So it kind of looks like a morning dew on the petals. This is beautiful. That's like an explosion of a million colors. You taste the umami from the roll with the sweetness of the king crab. There's tomatoes, there's something nutty, there's something fresh and vibrant. It's just so much going on with that little bite. If the whole dinner is gonna be like these 2 bites, it's gonna be really incredible.
It's gonna be your spot, and you can stand over here, and George is gonna cook the more sets. And enjoy, see you soon.
Thank you, thanks so much. Wow.
On this side, that is the open fire area of the kitchen. On the other side here is the garnish section. So all the sauces, vegetables, and the side courses are coming from here. And someone is working on this old school cast iron stove from 1923. So we are filling the stove with that small window with bird shot. And there is also a tiny oven here that we use for waffles or for the donuts. So I'm gonna prepare also 2 more snacks for you. The first one is our version of the traditional Swedish tunnbröd. So it's a flat bread made with rye flour from Råbälta, 1 hour far away from Stockholm. And now I brushed it with fermented nettles butter. So we ferment the butter outside of the fridge with nettles for about 5 weeks. So now it's gonna taste almost like cheese. The white emulsion is a potato mince emulsion. I added some shallot pickled in grounded vinegar, fennel pollen, and now I'm gonna finish with this vendensrå, or leirom in Swedish, from Kalix up north in Sweden. So this is called also Swedish caviar. It comes from the smaller fish from the salmon family. It's the same size as a sardine. Enjoy.
Thank you. Wow, this is so cool. Whoa, it's like a dill-infused umami pancake. That's incredible. That pancake is so nice.
Yeah, it's really traditional Swedish flavor.
Is it? So this is an old-fashioned butter churn.
Butter churn, exactly. So this is made with wood. It means that we just wash it not with soap but with water. So we keep all the bacteria to make the butter. You're gonna taste the butter later in the butter serving. It's gonna be really different than the normal butter that we have.
Wow.
So the second snack is gonna be flamadou oysters. So it's a signature technique here. It means that I'm gonna use the flamadou, that is the cast iron coal inside the fire now, to melt reindeer fat on the oyster. The cast iron coal is gonna be around 500 degrees. And I'm gonna create a really nice crust outside of this oyster. So this stuff is gonna be really fast. We don't wanna cook through the oyster, but just create a nice caramelization outside. So this is a signature technique. It means that we keep this in the menu basically during all over the year, but we change ingredients and fats following the season. So right now we have oysters, and we use reindeer fat because we are serving reindeer as the main course. And the sauce is a beurre blanc sauce made with the reduced juice of the oyster and the flour vinegar and some black oil.
This one, oyster cooked in reindeer fat. Wow, that oyster was cooked so well. The little sear on the outside from the burning fat, and it's so tender inside. Wow.
It means it's apple jus, but made with unripe apples to clean and refresh your palate before you leave the kitchen.
Unripe apple juice. Wow. Oh, that definitely did it. All right, this restaurant is unlike any other Michelin tasting I've been to. It's really unique. It's so cool to be able to see the kitchen. So everything that they're cooking with, they're only cooking with a tiny station, and everything is just wood fired. That's it. And no electricity, no gas. They're only cooking, utilizing a very traditional Swedish method of cooking. I think my favorite is the oyster. With the reindeer fat, oh my gosh, it's so rich and just perfect. So first course, this is a ember baked scallop. On top is a buckwheat crisp with seaweed. Incredible. So with this stove, with this fire, I'm definitely expecting a lot of smoke in a lot of the dishes. This one is absolutely infused with that delicious smoke. The scallop is melting your mouth tender. The cracker on top is crispy, just perfectly balances out the tenderness of the scallop. Every mouthful, you're tasting the delicious part, and the scallop is so sweet. And inside, I'm not really sure. There's a substance that kind of looks like tofu, but kind of tastes richer than that. Okay, so I double checked. It's scallop roll. I never had scallop roll that soft before. The texture was like tofu, but it tasted much richer. Never had scallop roll like that. Wow. And what's really cool is the preserved spruce. They preserved spruce tree, which was kind of bitter, but really rounded out the flavor of the whole dish. And they also have seaweed sugar. Did not know there was a lot of sweetness in seaweed, that you could extract the sugary element of it, but wow, so much umami in there. 5 bites so far, all 10 out of 10.
Your next serving. So right in here we have the whey that is left when we turn our butter. And we're just gonna smoke with some bird charcoal just before serving.
This is the butter that we sharpen by hand, where we extract the whey. And from there is where we make this beautiful sauce that we infuse with leek. And of course our very well-known touch of the smokiness of the birch. And here on the bread, very special bread, it's a mother dough that started in 2011 when we started the restaurant, so we keep it alive. And we use this mother dough to bake our bread in the birch fire oven that you saw there at the beginning of the kitchen every morning. And now what I'm going to do is separate a little bit the solids from the sauce. We're going to add some layers of complexity to this bread serving. The first one is that because the sauce is a tiny bit warm, it's going to melt the bottom of the butter, allowing it to be a little bit more creamy on the bottom and a little bit more hardened still on the top, so you can work with 2 different consistencies.
This is the bread course next. It's the most complex, complicated, just amazing bread course I've ever encountered in my life. It's the most incredible bread course in the history of mankind. This butter tastes like the essence of life. Again, it's smoky. You get a lot of flavor from the leek. The bread, sourdough, perfectly balances out the richness of the butter. The butter is absolutely incredible. Soft, rich, ridiculously creamy, infused with that amazing smoke. Wow, I never had a bread course like this before. I love smoke. I love it. in this restaurant, the way they cook everything, well, almost every single dish is gonna have a smoky element to it. I'm here for it. This is one of their main dishes. This is quail breast, and the quail is dry aged and smoked for 1 week. Underneath the quail breast, the quail legs are cooked confit, and underneath that is white asparagus, and the sauce is a blend of white asparagus and tons of butter. Smoked for 1 week. Holy moly, this is gonna be so smoky. I'm so excited for this. Oh man, wow, the quail melts in your mouth. I love the confit quail legs on the bottom. The sauce is bright as buttery. The asparagus is delicious. It's so crunchy and provides a wonderful, very vinegary, acidic element to this dish. You won't believe how tender this quail is. Wow.
So now it's time to bring a part of the kitchen to your table, so you can enjoy langoustine from Norway. We bake the langoustine on top of charcoals and on top of a healthy variety, which is called bladderwrack. As you can see, we continue to steam the langoustine on top of the charcoals until we reach your table. On the plate, you can see a smoked celeriac puree. Next, we will pour a sauce from the head of the langoustine. We will put on top an oil which is infused with pine cones attached to the flavor. And last but not least, we will put a watercress which is called nasturtium, and it will add a peppery aftertaste.
Thank you. This next dish, this is langoustine from Norway. It's a ginormous langoustine. Again, smoky, the smoke, every time. Wow, this is the most tender langoustine I've ever had in my life, by far. And I forgot one thing, the sauce that's here, made from the head of langoustine. Can you imagine, like, I can't describe to you how much flavor and umami is in this sauce. It is a lot. I wished I had some more bread to soak up every single drop of this sauce. Rich, creamy, just the most amount of umami you can imagine is here. The langoustine is so sweet. Also, the drizzle of pinecone oil adds a really nice earthiness to this dish. Wow, this is one of the most incredible dishes ever. I'm trying to use the langoustine to wipe up all the sauce. Trust me, if you were in my situation, you would do the same. Yeah, I'm not wasting this sauce. It's so good. This is a surprise. So this is the second tasting of the langoustine. It's this beautiful little donut inside langoustine claw meat. There's green plums and the lingonberries, and they suggest taking this in 2 bites. Oh, this is so beautiful. It's just the most subtle crunch on the outside. Inside it's puffy and airy. It's sweet, not just from the lingonberries and the plum, but the langoustine itself. You can taste that wonderful sweetness inside. Savory, sweet, ultra bright. Even though it's like the most exquisite thing ever, it still gives you that comforting feeling of a donut. Best way to describe that? That Swedish takoyaki.
Right, we are continuing to your next serving tonight, which is going to be our cold smoked reindeer saddle. So I'm going to start off by melting this butter, which we have spiced with lemon thyme in this cast iron bowl tempered to 280 degrees Celsius. This one we heat it up straight over the open fire to get that high temperature. I will then cook the reindeer only on one side, mostly getting all of the flavors from the butter really into the meat. And while we let that sit, I'm going to show you what's already on your plates. All of this is smoked with the Juniper branches, and at the bottom of the plate we'll find a cream which we have made from the blood of the reindeer. On top of that, amber baked beetroot together with a Juniper vinaigrette. Then I'm of course going to top it off with a bit of the leftover butter from the cast iron bowl to get even more flavors into the meat. And finishing off with a sauce which we've cooked from beetroots and then flavored with a smoked bone marrow from the reindeer.
Thank you. Next dish is reindeer, and this looks so good. This is gonna be fatty, it's gonna be rich, it's gonna be delicious. I'm here for it, I'm so excited. Wow, this is so tender. Wow, lean, but extremely tender, very smoky. It does have a tiny hint of gaminess, so you can tell it's not beef. The sauce is rich, it's deep. Dunk the next piece into the blood pudding. Sweet, earthy, rustic. The beetroot has a slight crunch to balance out just the pure tenderness of the reindeer. This is just heaven. Insanely good. Next dish is a little brioche covered in juniper butter and juniper berries. This is what they bring you to wipe up that incredible sauce. Flaky, a little sweet. That goes perfect with the leftover sauce. I wish I had something like this for the Langoustine too. Dessert course number 1. This is a yogurt. On the bottom, it's a little crisp that they made with bee pollen. And on top, it's drizzled with fermented spruce honey. Also, the yogurt is made with unpasteurized milk. It is so creamy and milky and rich. The honey is delicious, and this whole thing is just very sprucey. Yummy. Also, the smoky element in this dish is coming from the spruce. So it's pretty much smoky element every single bite you take here. I love it, love it. Dessert number 2. So there's 2 plates of food. One is a blueberry ganache with an herb ice cream on top. And on top of the ice cream, a dehydrated blueberry shaped like a maple leaf. And on the side of that, a souffle made out of porcini and mushrooms. Oh, the ice cream is so good. It's so herby. The blueberry is delicious. And the souffle, oh my gosh, this is like a cloud. Oh, you see the steam coming out of this? It's sweet. It tastes like a literal cloud, and a little bit of earthiness from the mushroom just adds to the depth of flavor of the souffle, and it's smoky too. Oh, that dehydrated blueberry is so good. Oh, this is such a perfect dessert course. I love it when I'm eating dessert courses at these tasting menus, and it's not a sorbet. There's so many sorbet dishes at the end of these tasting menus. It's just, I want something nice and decadent and delicious. That's this right here. And the last bite of food, they moved us back to the lounge area. It's a potato choux. It's basically like a small cream puff with shreds of sugar on top. Nutty, creamy, perfect ending to this incredible meal. So again, this is a 1 Michelin star restaurant. I'm surprised that it's not packed. I think this is an absolute must try if you ever come to Stockholm. I love the concept, no electricity, no gas when cooking. The cooking style is very much how they cooked everything long time ago here. So you're getting really a taste of culture, a taste of tradition. This is one of my favorite tasting menus in the world. It's so amazingly delicious. I think each person is $250 US, and especially compared to a lot of other tasting menus here in Stockholm that are priced around $700 or even $1,000, I think it's pretty accurate, especially if that includes everything, service and everything. This has been an incredible dinner. This whole day has been amazing food. And as always, all places I went to listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again. See you later.